right, we're back here on this Football Sunday from Mulcahy's as we take you right up until Giant football at 11:30, a special edition. Our thanks to Moose and David Deal for getting out of the way and let me come back to my old show for one last time here on this Sunday. So we'll be with you until 11:30 when the Giant pregame will start. First time this year you needed to do weather, and I have my assistants here. This is Harrison, Emily, and Jack Francesa. So I got them all with me here to help me do the weather. And then Doc O'Brien will be up with the injuries at 10 o'clock. All right, let's go. We have Colts and Bills today, 24 degrees with snow, winds at 12 miles an hour for... Now, Peterman threw 5 interceptions in beautiful weather. We'll see what he does today when it's snowing and 24 degrees. And the wind's blowing up there in Buffalo. We have in Cleveland 27 degrees with the wind chill at minus 10 degrees because the winds are going to be at 25 miles an hour. Mostly cloudy, so the weather won't be fun there. It'll be Packer Bear winter weather today in Cleveland. In Cincinnati for the Bears and the Bengals, 28 degrees with 11-mile-an-hour winds. Carolina is only going to be 38 degrees today. Not bad in Florida. It's not going to be warm in Tampa. It's only going to be 50 degrees, but it's still going to be better than it's going to be some of these other places. And let's see. In Jacksonville, it's going to be in the high 40s. Denver for the Jets, it'll be clear and 58 degrees. For the Giants, it'll be 37 degrees at kickoff with winds at 8 to 10 miles an hour out of the southwest. And the Steelers and the Ravens tonight in Pittsburgh, 27 degrees at kickoff, mostly cloudy, no precipitation expected, winds from the southwest at 8 miles an hour. So for the first time this year, as we hit early December or the second week in December, the weather has become a factor. And that's one thing about the NFL. You open in the searing heat of August and September. You go through the fall, and then you go into the ice of December, and then if you're lucky enough into January to play a little football. So that's where Jack's Falcons, and Jack's a Falcon fan, or Harrison's a Chief fan, and Emily, you probably root for a local. Are you a Giant fan? Are you a Giant fan? Yeah, okay. Emily's a Giant fan. Okay, so been a tough season for them too, but what the heck? I mean, that's where we are. So we got a lot to get to. As I said yesterday, only one college game to talk about, and that was Army Navy yesterday. Second straight win for Army. Navy misses a 48-yard field goal in the snow in Philadelphia. Navy really messed up the end of this game. I mean, after Army took the lead with a long drive and stuck it in to go up 14-13, Navy got down to where it looked like they were in position to really set up for a very makeable field goal, maybe even a chip shot, or maybe even get in the end zone. Instead, after getting in really good position and getting where they're going to have the field goal inside 35 yards or so, wound up with a bad running play and then 2 penalties that added up to 10 more yards. So they wound up, instead of kicking themselves a 32 or 34-yard field goal, they wound up in the snow with a guy whose length is about 48 yards, which means he's got to really stride and kick it. And to do that on a slippery surface is not easy. He got into it pretty good, but it just hooked a little bit late, and it was long enough, but off to the left. And Navy, for the second straight year, after dominating for a decade and a half, for the second straight year, the Army has come out on top, and they win what was a really fun game. I enjoyed the game yesterday. Not a lot of drives. The ball's never in the air. These teams don't ever throw the ball. I mean, I think between them they threw it like 3 times in the game. But Army with a hard-fought 14-13 win over Navy, so give them credit. And for the second straight year, a big win for them. All that's left now in college, now that we have the Heisman done and Army-Navy done, is the bowl games. And those will obviously culminate with the 2 big games on New Year's Day. We'll do some picks for today later in the program. We have a couple for you for today. We've had a good season with that, so we'll get to that. And we'll get the 2-minute drill after we get to the picks and a little more. Now, as I mentioned, the baseball world, the buzz with this trade that, if you remember what happened, I mean, the Yankees were really innocent bystanders. They were not thinking about this. This was not something they were looking to do. It really wasn't something they even considered. And then after he had trades made, the Marlins made a trade with the Giants, and Stanton turned it down. They had a trade with the Cardinals, and Stanton turned it down. He gave them very few teams that he would consider. The Cubs were one. They couldn't get a deal there. And then they wound up really giving him away. I mean, from a Yankee standpoint, they gave up absolutely nothing to get him. But he does change a lot of things for this team. A lot of people have to go. You have to make room for him in the outfield. He's not going to want to rotate in the outfield. He's going to want to play one position. It doesn't sound like either he or Judge wants to be an everyday DH. You have Sanchez in the mix at least a quarter of the time at the DH spot anyway. And now you have a team that is so unbelievably right-handed powerful. It's really overwhelming how much right-handed power they have. What did Harrison write me a note that says, "Can I say something? You want to say something on the air?"
Yeah.
What do you want to say? Go ahead. What do you want to say?
I want to say that this trade with the Giancarlo people, that was a stupid trade.
From the Marlins standpoint?
From the Yankees standpoint.
Oh, you don't like it from the Yankees standpoint?
They pay him too much money.
Well, you're listening to me talk.
Yeah, because he makes a lot of money.
Yeah, well, he makes a lot of money. They can afford him for the year, but
really,
what it does. Thanks. You know what? You sound like a caller now. So but the bottom line is they without any question, they changed the dynamics of the team. They can afford him. They can afford to pay him. You know what? They can afford him for a year, but you had guys who they were going to take a time to build up their salaries, who were going to be very big stars. And now they're going to have a guy come to the team who is making $300 million, who is already a very big star, and changes the utter dynamics of how those other guys grow up. So it's going to change the team radically. This is going to change the team even much more than it did when they went and got power after 2000, when George started to load up on power and really changed the dynamics. And they didn't win very much after that. So I like the team better from 96 to 2000, but we'll see how things work out. Maybe things will change for the better. We'll see how it works out. What?
Dad.
Oh, now Jack's turn. Go ahead, Jack.
But who do you think they're going to get rid of, Ellsbury or Gardner?
I think Gaudy is going to have to go. I think it'd be fair for him. It's going to be hard for him to have a lot of time unless one of them becomes the everyday center fielder. So there's going to be room for somebody. There will be room for 4 outfielders. Remember, you still got young guys in the mix.
What about Hicks?
You got Hicks, you got Frazier, you got guys you have to think about, and then you have Ellsbury and Gaudy who are used to playing. And from that standpoint, it's going to really change the dynamics because you're going to have to probably put Judge in left and Stanton in right as the outfield. That'll probably be how you play things. So from that standpoint, but thank you guys for contributing here very much. You want me to tell me anything about your Falcons? Will they or won't they make the playoffs this year?
Will they?
Will they or won't they?
Yeah, they will.
They will.
They'll make the wild card. All
right. And how about your Chiefs today? How they're falling apart. We went and saw the Chiefs last week and they lost. What do you think today against the Raiders? Good or bad?
They're going to lose because they have no defense.
He's right. They don't. And
they lost Barry. They don't have Barry anymore. So
all right. Don't make excuses. You're playing badly. Your team. And how about the lovely Emily? You want to say something today?
I don't know.
Yes? Anything? Anything on your mind?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, what do you think of the crowd? Pretty nice, huh? Pretty good crowd, right?
Yeah.
Not bad. Either of you two guys want to take over the show now that I'm stepping away? What do you think?
Yeah.
That's my job.
That's my job.
What about both of you? What do you think in the future? What do you think?
I don't want to be with that one.
Typical brothers. So who do we like today? What's your best bet today? What game? Who's your best bet today?
I have to see this first.
You got to be ready for this stuff. You cannot just look through and. You see, this is radio. You got to talk. You can't just look through and read. So you have to be prepared.
I think the Vikings are going to beat the Panthers.
All right. And how about you, Hal? Who's your best bet today? And Emmy likes the Rams. I didn't even tell me you like the Rams right today.
Yeah.
And who do you like today?
I see New England beating the.
Tomorrow night. New England?
Yeah, they're winning.
Oh, what a surprise picking the Pats. There we go. Nice to be safe. Well, thank you guys. We'll be back right after this.